It's toast.
Tea toast. Well done. Oh God, tea.
You wouldn't think putting a few boards in that last row would take pretty much since, I don't know, 12 o'clock. It's now, I have no idea what time it is.
When you said a few boards, I was thinking, what do you mean a few boards? This is our floor.
No, I know, but I mean that last row, the
Yeah.
one that we've had to cut in half and hammer in and wedge in and all sorts of stuff.
We look knackered because we are.
Yeah, and we literally have just,
Oh yeah.
well, finished.
Right.
Not 100% finished,
Yeah.
but
We're stopping at the knee pads.
finished in terms of what we really wanted to do today. And we do have a complete floor, minus floor lockers.
No, we've not got floor lockers. We've got the starts of floor lockers. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Gibbering like a wreck, basically. What have we learned from doing this experience? A lot of hard work, but enjoyable hard work.
Tell that to my knees.
Tell that to my knees.
Yeah, Jacqueline's got a poorly knee.
I haven't got a poorly knee from the work that I've been doing here. I've got a poorly knee from yes,
Anyway,
from looking after other people. That's how I've got a poorly knee. It got me benched, my poorly knee.
one of the things that we struggled with was light. So again, because of the weather and the rain, we weren't able to work particularly late because we just couldn't see. And when we were working late, we basically laid some floor out ready for the next day, only to find that the next day some of it wasn't quite as precise as it should have been.
Yeah, so we might have laid floors that have got H's in the patterning, which is a no-no, or we laid floorboards that were slightly bigger than one another, because I think we said before that there was differences in the widths of the floorboards. And so when you've laid something out and you spent about, I don't know, 20 minutes laying something out and you think, yes, that's brilliant, that's perfect, that's going to be great, all we need to do tomorrow is just, you know, bang, 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 and then when you start bang, 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 and you find that things are wrong, that's so disheartening. But you deal with it. You just pull it up and find another piece, and we've got plenty to choose from. I mean, we overbought on purpose.
Yeah.
Because we knew that although we were doing the floor, we knew it was old wood, so we wanted to make sure that we had we had enough wood for mistakes to be made or for dud floorboards.
Oh, and there was definitely duds
which
we couldn't use.
Fair bit of duds that we couldn't use on the floor. We also knew that we wanted to use some of the wood in the hatches, in the side hatches, and in the engine bay hatch, because it's the right thickness for the frames that we've got, and also it would be nice to have that sort of continuity running through the boat. We've got so much left over, we think we might even have enough to be able to create the flooring for the engine bay steps and things, which would be cool if we can. What else have we learnt? It's not as hard a job as we thought it was going to be.
We definitely thought in the beginning that we were going to need help, as in someone who laid floors before. One of my brothers has done that kind of thing, so we thought we were going to have to do that,
But he's poorly, so we couldn't.
or call on friends as well
Yeah.
who've done that kind of thing. And we didn't. We did some looking at videos.
You did loads of research for it.
On YouTube, and looked at the sorts of. We've probably said this before at the beginning, but looked at the things that you should do and shouldn't do.
And we found ways of doing things that were actually quite sort of helpful at the time. I mean, from the videos, yeah, but as we were working, you know, we were finding ways of doing it that were slightly different to the ways that you normally would do it, or, you know, and we've got some of those in the videos. What else did we learn? Hardwood is hard.
Yeah.
The maple is a really hard one.
It is meant to be on the same level as oak, or maybe even just a bit harder, I think, on that chart that we saw.
I can't remember.
It's either equal to oak or just a bit harder. We have found it quite hard, even sort of kneeling on it without shin pads on or anything. You really know that you're kneeling on hard wood, which is very different from the subfloor, which, okay, it's, you know, ply, but it's a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big difference. It's made the sound of the boat very different. It absorbs an awful lot of sound, which is always interesting. I always find the sound of the boat really interesting. And of course, we feel much taller because we can touch the ceiling properly. I mean, we could anyway, but
no, it's definitely made a difference.
And we knew that, though. We knew that was going to happen.
It's very physical work, that's the thing, and you know, there's only so much of that you can do in one day as well. You know, that not only are you on your knees and you bent over, but also sort of hammering or even drilling, it does take it out of you.
Yeah, it's more physical for you because you're doing all the hammering and the levering and the fulcrum work and all that kind of stuff, and I was coming along with a power tool, just kind of going shing, shing, shing.
Yeah, but even that, you know, wasn't because you were having to do it at a particular angle.
Yeah, that was a pain in the arse. That's the other thing. One thing we've learnt, that you are having to, you know, you do have to drill in the floorboards at a particular angle, and it's hard to actually maintain that angle, because sometimes I was going in at slightly sort of sharper angle from the top, which would split the tongue. If I went in too much of a low angle, it meant that I couldn't. The bit was spinning in the screw head.
Yeah.
What else have we learnt? Small floorboards.
Yes.
Take a long time.
Yeah, because they're only about, I would say, 2-inch wide. You probably can't tell so much. Yeah. There's about 2 inches wide. And there's a lot down, a hell of a lot down. And one thing about the drilling, you need the screwing is that make sure you've got enough bits, because these were special, particular T10s they are, which are like a
star shape. Yeah. It's a torque screwdriver. Yeah.
And with the set of 350 screws, special floorboard screws, you get one bit. Well, that bit isn't good enough for starters.
No, it's just not a good bit. Even though they're good quality screws, the bit pretty crap.
Yeah. So we bought some. I bought a pair for something like about £4, which were
Stanley. We bought a pack of Stanley, which was a mixture of teas.
Yeah.
For about £5.
Yeah, but I bought a pair of Irwin, I think they were, just sort of. They were meant to be for for the impact driver, which was like £3 or £4. Not very good. Meant to be good, not very good. Bosch.
You bought Bosch.
Bought a pair of Bosch,
Pretty
similar
rubbish.
price. Bit better. Again, impact driver, but not great. And then we bought what were the other ones? Darts.
Pack of 10 from eBay.
For about a tenner.
Brilliant.
And yeah, very good.
And we've probably got about 6 left. No, maybe 5 left.
Yeah, well,
because that last lot took a few.
Yeah, it doesn't take much just to be off slightly, and
and then
things
you
like
round the drill bit, and so the screwdriver bit, and then you round the screw.
Yeah. But we've done the whole lot with 2 boxes of screws.
Okay, so so just over 1,000 screws. Some things we were putting more screws in the boards than we probably would needed, but because of the nature of the board, it needed just a little bit of extra support.
So we're going to start with this one, and we're going to just have a go with the drill and see what the screws work like. And basically they go above the tongue at roughly a 35 degrees angle. They're self-drilling and self-countersinking, and it needs to go in so that the next piece doesn't get caught and you can't fit it in, so it needs to sort of countersink. So my lovely assistant Jacqueline is going to start by drilling one in the middle, and I'm going to just hold it tight.
Yeah. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
So it goes into the joint, does it?
Just in that gap, I think.
There or there?
Yeah, no, to 35, so roughly there.
There's one.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's gone well in. So we've got 2 in, and we're just gonna keep going because this is gonna take hours. But we're happy.
Yeah, we're happy. Just cool. Learning new things.
As part of our floorboard research, we bought this block, which comes in a pack with 3 elements. So this is a block that you use on this side, so you can then knock this piece of wood into the groove on the tongue of the other piece, and you always hit on the tongue side apparently. Then for tight places you've got this tool, which when you get to the other end and you've got no room to be able to hit from this side, you then put this on here like that, and you hit there to tighten it up.
Oh,
so boom, boom, boom there to push it into the groove.
And what I need to do is just move the table about 6 inches this way, so all the sawdust just goes out the window.
Yeah. We've got a slight gap on either side
For movement.
and when you come to the end, you have to kind of screw straight down, because obviously there's no room to sort of screw at the 30-degree angle, and then just countersink really.
There is movement. The other thing we've found, there has been movement in the boards. So even though when we've fitted them, they've been super flush up, as the the board settles and settles against a subfloor, and as you walk on them and there's movement in your walking, then there is slight movement within the board, so you get little finer gaps than we than we had started with. Yeah.
So we've got a few different kinds of finishers. So there's pieces like this which are more yellow and have still got a lot of the varnish on, and then there's sort of greyer pieces which seem to come from a different area, and in some cases are just ever so slightly smaller on top. I don't know if you can tell there.
Yeah.
And so what we've been trying to do is run the sort of greyer pieces in length so that the width is right, so here, and then the oranger pieces in length as well, where possible. And in some places we're just going to have to do a little bit of filling anyway, because some of the boards like this here are slightly warped to, you know, they've got a slight bow in them, and they, you know, I mean, they're old boards and they've been under pressure.
I think after 100 years I'd be a bit warped.
Yeah, but that's, you know, that's the nature of using recycled wood, and especially reclaimed boards, rather than, say, getting boards that have been resawn, which, you know, may make things a lot easier, but also you pay for that as well, don't you?
Yeah. So boards that are resawn, they're like beams and things that have got tongs and grooves put in.
Well, yeah. So they're taken usually beams out of roofs, which then they just saw up into planks, and either leave them with a square edge or put a tongue and groove in them so they can sell them as tongue and groove. But that because they're old and reclaimed, there's less likely of them sort of well, it's usually pine anyway, and it's old pine, so it's solid.
Yeah. So there's not much movement in the the swelling and the contraction.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things that we found, that as you sort of come across the boat, you have to go lengthways as well, in as much that you've got to fit in the size planks that we've got, and we've got a variety of planks from, say, around about this size, which is 18 inches maybe. Yeah, 18 inches. Then there's maybe 2 foot, 4 foot, up to something like 8 foot in some cases. But what that means is you're trying to avoid creating these, what they call H joints, which would be a joint here and a joint here, and also to avoid having a joint here and here that are too close, especially if it's the next board along. So for instance, we haven't got one here, but here that's about 4 inches, and the next one along is about 4 inches, well, it's about 8 inches from this one. I think I said this already, but so as you're trying to avoid these and use long and short pieces in a run, you end up having to do a lot longer run down the boat to be able to get the width down that end. So as you can see how long we've done about 20 foot, but we've only got, you know, 3 foot's worth of width down the other end. So from here we need to slot a piece in, but the problem with that is that we can't then screw that one in. In actual fact, it'll be okay, because this is screwed in and this is screwed in, and as long as it's long enough that way, we'll be able to get one in, or at least one. But here we'll probably use a very long piece so we can get more screws in. But it's something that we're trying to avoid, which is why we're having to build out this way, come down the boat like this,
Yeah.
and work as way. So at the minute we've done this area, and now we're working back down the bottom towards the bottom of the boat. So we're trying to fit pieces in as we go along, and also the other thing we're trying to do is set up 2 or 3 rows of boards that we know we want to go in. So these are already chosen because we're looking at the gaps and choosing pieces for the right length, so we avoid any of these H's and weaknesses as well. So the other place we're just looking at being careful around is a joint in the subfloor. So what we've done is the subfloor goes all the way along there as a joint, and what we're trying to do is avoid too many pieces that, you know,
do this, that butt up to it.
that butt up to it like this.
So that's the only piece we've got that
Yeah.
does that so far.
So the next piece will be like that, and then we'll do that. Yeah, so that's what we've got so far. It's slow going because you've got old boards, and you need to, although they've been cleaned, you've got to double check there's no cracks in them on the surface and that the ends are all square. Some of the sort of little marks that are clearly visible will come out when we do the sanding. I think they're 18 or 20 mil, so there's plenty of wood there to sand. So I'm not worried about that. And also, some of the imperfections, you know, we won't get out, and that's fine because we want a bit of that character in the wood anyway. But I'm quite happy with the way it's going so far.
But we have a floor in our boat, and it is a beautiful floor, and it was brilliant. And it's something that we've learned.
Yeah, and we've done it.
And we've done it. We've
Yeah,
done our
we've done
floor.
it.
We've
Yeah.
done our floor. And it, you know, there's nothing better, I think, than learning new things, learning new skills, and we know how to lay a maple floor.
Well, and if we ever in the future,
Don't ever ask us to.
no, but in the future, if you ever decide, oh, can you come and lay this brand new oak floor, it would be a cinch compared to this.
Don't jinx it.
But the chances are we'd just say no.
No. Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody in.
So yeah.
But we have a floor, and it is 100 years old at least,
Right, yeah.
and we're gonna love it.
And before we put any walls and rooms in, we're going to dance down it.
I'm sure there's been quite a lot of dancing gone on this floor already, because that's the kind of venue it was. Weddings, dancing, parties, afternoon teas.
Afternoon tea.